Hello there. I got a little bit of an issue with my recording at the moment, so I need to check that for a second. And I know what it is. I forgot to activate the device, right? Oh, I know. Because I did some reconfiguration of things. As you can see, I've got my mic on a little boom thing type thing. It's actually a monitor stand that I kind of rigged up. But hey, you know what? Make do with what you got, right? All right, let's see if I can fix this thing.
But you know, in the Western world,
That is the thing.
I suppose we have two dominant ideas
Sure.
about what happens to us
There
when
we
we
go.
die.
That works. Uh-oh.
There's the old-fashioned idea
I seem to have made a minor
that after we die, we go to
calculation.
another world.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll probably run out of streaming or saving space here.
We don't know what the answer
Oh, that's supposed to be subsumed. I don't know why. Dung. Ding. Dung. Ding. Anyway, so today with the music, we're going for a different group. No cost type stuff, you know. The other one was my friend, but there was a little bit of things that happens, you know. It's automated stuff. But anyway, so we're using Outer Town music this time around, which again is a open source kind of not open source, but you know what I mean, like a royalty free type whatever dealio. It seems like it was nice enough, so yeah, you know, we'll figure what that out. Why not? All right, let's see. So what we are actually up to is we will be going through, assuming this thing does the thing. Why is the thing not doing it then? Implement command function. Minor malfunction, but it's okay. Let's see, so was it Control 2? Control 2? I don't know what it was. I gotta pull that window up. Oh, hey, we're looking at that. Alright, so that's what we were doing today, wasn't it? Alright, so we were looking at our dashboard here on our site here with the Stellar Dragon Games. And so as you can see, we posted the 30 from there, and it's literally as of this afternoon. So obviously, there's not going to be any traffic. There's not going to be anything that's going to show up on those. So that being said, we also have another 5 that are coming up, which is going to be over the course of the next 2 weeks. Well, that being said, me being me, I'm a bit proactive. I like being ahead of the game. And although that sometimes does read me off the rails, I'd rather have weeks, months of content kind of prepared, because there's the conversations beforehand, during stuff. But then what happens if something happens, and I got preoccupied doing XYZ, like getting into a car crash, which that was a bit untoward. But the fact of the matter is that, hey, these things happen, right? And suddenly you're not in a spot where you can. So it's best to have the percent pre-cached and be prepared for it. So the fun part about this particular process, unlike what I was going through yesterday, where I have this stuff really well defined for the sake of other people, this stuff I have defined, I know what I'm going to do, right? But I also don't know what I'm going to do. And so what I mean by that is that effectively, while I do know what I'm going to do, I don't have it actually like step-by-step layered out on our on our related tracking boards and stuff like that. So it's not like super cleared out, and I haven't even actually like gotten that organized that far. So I've got time, and all of the stuff is kind of set up. I get the chance to, and this is one of the advantages of being ahead of the pre-cache, right? Is I get the opportunity, the chance to get that organized. Get that to that level of organization. Get that to that level of readiness. Get that to that level of preparedness, even, because it's the advantage of being prepared that kind of gets you get a little bit ahead of the game, as it were. So that is what we are going to be up to today, and I'm going to walk through. And actually, I'm going to walk through and kind of show my built-out processes of kind of how I go about doing it. Just because I figure why not. Like, I've been working in the shadows on this stuff for literally months. Started with the Wolf Linux stuff back in the middle of last year, kind of on a lark. Actually, the first quarter last year, kind of on a lark. And started doing like website stuff, leveraging AI tools. And I'm like, you know what? Honestly, this is really great. And so I'm like, let's try and see if we can develop this a little bit more. If we can kind of go a little bit more, if you will, a little bit more ham on it. And so I have. So I've kind of gathered up these groups of folk, the great groups of the Stellar Dragons, Div, Ghost, Soren, and others. And we ended up in a space where we're, currently in the process of kind of like really developing, that sort of process, that sort of procedures of it. So anyway, so we did that, we did that sort of thing, and starting in November, right, and been pushing on it, kind of in the shadow, like I said. So I've been working. I mean, I've been tearing at it for a while yet. It's actually kind of honestly sad in a manner for what happened. Because what ended up happening was that due to some issues, right? I've gone on a little bit. I touched on it a little bit, but due to some issues, there were, we got basically completely removed from for a time from Control F1. There we go. For a time, we got completely removed from our doohickey, right? And so from basically from getting traffic from primary source being Google. That's that's my own darn fault, and I categorically don't. I'm not gonna say I'm sitting here going, oh this is the worst thing ever, whatever. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. And I just had a malfunction here. That's not good. My computer did not like what I just did. Let me see. Because for this one, I'm actually going to want to have all four of my screens on my primary computer, because we get into certain details. We get into like a bunch of things that I'm going to be working on simultaneously. Some of them I can do on screen, some of them I can't do on screen. But anyway, so what I was saying before I interrupted myself, that's a problem, is that we, oh, I see now. Sorry. So what I was saying before I interrupted myself was that we've got this situation where effectively we had a forced restart, more or less. And though in the interim time, and this is what I was getting on about as I'm trying to figure out this situation I just caused, in the interim time where we're building these processes and kind of going through and figuring things out, right? And I've built up like a lot, we'll say, of various sub processes and various neat stuff. And so in these processes, I got my desktop back, except it's in the wrong spot, but that's okay. We have progress. Sometimes easy fixes are easy. Anyway, so we got we got these processes that we're building out, and these entire design elements and stuff like that to kind of quickly go through and like generate the content. Well, and again, because and it is the sort of thing where it's like that's the idea, is to get the content out there. You get people to get to the site. You get people to get there, and getting people to get there. Good things await. You get the traffic, and you get the community, right? You get the and you basically, like I said, you get people together, right? And yes, there's always got to be a little bit of that monetization type thing on the end. You gotta, because as I said last time I was talking about the stuff, you gotta make sure that you can pay your way. You gotta make sure that you can kind of that you can keep the lights on. Because if you can't keep the lights on, well, hey, guess what? There aren't lights, right? And there's no such thing as a free ride on these things, right? So it's categorically, it's this sort of thing where you're like, yeah, that's kind of where one of the goals becomes, and one of the pitches becomes, well, we can make money off of this. And it's actually not the question of, well, can we make money off this? Or can we make gobs of profit? It's more of a, can we survive off of the money from this? And the answer to that, honestly, so far is no. As I'm finding out the hard way, and it's kind of disappointing, to be honest. But that doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way, if that makes any sense. It's one of those things where I would love to someday be able to say something like that. And thanks to viewers like you, that sort of sentiment. Because I like the idea. I like the sound of that. I'm not saying I'm the equivalency of PBS or anything like that. I am by no means not. Look, I don't have Mr. Rogers. All right. I got some folks that, given enough time, if they bake long enough, they'll be Mr. Rogers. But And he would never, um, but no, he's that one fella. Anyway, sorry, I'm surrounded by great people. It's just one of those things where it's just, um, I don't know. I'm getting gushy on here for some reason. I don't know why I'm getting gushy on it. But anyway, so yeah, so like I was saying now before I went too far off the edge there. So the hope is basically to be able to sustain itself. Well, to do that, you got to have traffic. To have traffic at this day and age, and unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, you got to play with the Googles, right? And because of choices we made, that I made, honestly, is that I went for, well, let's get as much out on these pointers, that we can possibly get, because we got a lot of topics that we can talk on. And realistically speaking, the goal here is to say, hey, people, here's the stuff we're talking about. Go look at the builds, and then we can talk about those builds with you at that point in time. That was the goal, and that is the goal. But the problem was that Google basically de-indexed everything because it was like, yeah, no, you're pushing too hard for what we're willing to allow, effectively. And it's the sort of thing where, on one hand, I have to admit that my decisions there, the type of direction, the creative directions and the writing directions that I was permitting, I won't say were horrible. Honestly, it was legible content, it was understandable content, it was I would go as far as say it was interesting enough content, but it was basically marked off as spam, which again, that's kind of rude, because that implies a certain untowardness where it's like, well, you're doing this, whatever, when it's actually, I just don't know what the hell I'm doing, and so I just got kicked to the curb because I don't know what I'm doing. And that's, it's one of those things where I get it, but when you reward somebody, and this is the big thing that it comes down to. Like we were rewarded for our processes that we built out over the course of like 4 or 5 months, and so it was like, yeah, everything is gravy. This is great. Everything's looking fine. We're okay. And then we're not okay. We're about as far from okay as we can possibly be. And then suddenly we're, come the content update thing, come March, the beginning of March, where I moved on from my job, because I'm like, yeah, no, there's potential here. We're just starting to see kind of the turns. It's fine. There's where I put the thing that I was looking for. I lost it. I lost the screen we were working on. So there are these turns, right? And it's like, okay, well, we're going, well, it's fine. And then suddenly comes in the March, it's like, boop, no, we don't like your styles. We don't like the ideas of what you're anything. And I'm getting told by like everyone that's everyone that's around that's like, experts and stuff going, well, your stuff's not terrible. It should be fine. But Google apparently just said, no, we don't want your small stuff around here anymore. Well, we'd rather cater to Reddit. Well, it's like, okay, well, sure, I get that, and it's their platform. They can do what they want in that sort of situation. I understand that too. But they basically, for anyone that wasn't like doing what they wanted to do, they just like, yeah, you're out. And so on one hand, they weren't completely wrong because there were some quality issues, but on the other hand, the nature of the curation of what they're up to, it makes me wonder what they're, kind of what they're up to. Like, honestly, and I don't know. I'm not gonna comment on what they're actually like. Oh, it's so whatever. What I'm gonna say though is that it was really inconveniencing for me, and for the group, and it's the sort of thing where it's like I said before, the conclusion becomes right now, we're not really gonna make our way. So I'm gonna have to go back to doing my IT stuff in some faculty, and I don't really want to go back, but I am good at it. I'm qualified for it. I'm overqualified for a lot of this stuff, which is kind of what I'm starting to run into a little bit, where it's like, yeah, by the way, here's my resume, and they're like, ooh, yeah, you're a bit, how much did you want? Yeah, we can get somebody who doesn't have the bona fides to make that sort of demand. So we're gonna go get somebody who doesn't have the bona fides to make this sort of demand for the position we're asking. It's like, oh, well, okay, so now I'm priced out of the market de facto, even though I definitely have the bona fides to do the thing they're asking. It's a rather interesting situation with that. And I'd personally rather, it's kind of one of those things where I'm really, You know, I'm over with the day work stuff, right? I gotta do what I gotta do to get by, right? You know, but it's one of those ones where I gotta figure out how to make this work. I don't have time, you know, I don't have time, but because I'm out of money, because of the thing that happens, right? But in the interim, may as well. So anyway, to these processes. So let me make sure that I have something else up here if I can show y'all it. So over here, wait. Checking something here. All right, so the ones that we're going to be working on today is we're going to be working on the Dread Necromancer. All right, should flip over there. All right, so we're working on the Dread Necromancer. And so the Dread Necromancer, sorry for the light mode. I don't know how to fix this, unfortunately. But the Dread Necromancer basically is it's a necromancer of like focused necromancer. I don't actually, honestly, the newer stuff's a little alien to me. And so when my bud produces Dread Necromancer, I've heard it once. I remember hearing like the Necromancer. There's like the Necromancer one that had the pale master, which I preferred like before that. So that's the one I remember. Like when it came out almost 20 years ago, right? Maybe a decade and a half ago, right? So anyway, so I kind of vaguely remember it, but I don't remember it very well. Nonetheless, so this is one of those spots where as I'm processing the material, I'm learning about the stuff. So anyway, so right now with the way that I have it set up, and ultimately there's other processes, like I said, that end up being where I can't actually share it. But so the way we got it set up is the primary things we need are the sources that we're going to be using, and the outline of what we're going to be kind of using, aiming at, and it's been pretty strongly curated and corrected from the previous year. That was the point of that 30, the huge push there that we finished off today, actually, with the hard work, the very hard work of the team, and honestly, like reasonably on my back too, but still, the very hard work on the team. So, which I have to say is great. It's good to work with folks that are, Anyway, so we get a seed outline that then gets worked on by certain levels of generative content. Now, I will say this for anyone who's like, the sources are ours. So I'm literally taking from those materials and going, all right, we want to talk about this a bit more. So here's your the materials we're using. And then we go to the the next source, which is going to again also be materials that are from our own internal, another handling of the particular content matter. So the one that you see up here is actually the heading block from so this is the heading block from the actual entry, the glossary entry, which we'll go here in a second because I'm going to need to touch that a little bit to on all of these, right? So there's the Blood Mage one, the Monoclass one, which actually will need to be changed because we're going to do a little bit of brainstorming for the names there. And then I'm going to pull that off my off screen to a different screen there while I work it, because that's one of those ones where it's got its own priority or own progress. Right, so let's see. So, but as we're going through that, so then this one's the what is it called? Sorry. So that was the second source. Actually, I need to go look because I don't remember. Oh, those are some of my previous attempts at the articles. I don't remember. Oh, you know what? Let's see, I forgot to update this. Update the list, the tracker. Outline. No, I think those were in article, maybe, or approval pending. Approval pending. It was approval pending. That's what I called them. And so this is all posted. All right. Let's see something here. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah. So all of those are posted. Approval pendings are all now posted. So that's cool. And here's your 1, 2, 3. Oh, What did I do wrong? I must be doing something wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means that I'm missing one from this list. Let's see. Oh, I know what it is. So I can't actually do the comparative articles discussions until the other discussions are done. So there's an order of operations to this that's already kind of formed. So that's neat. All right, working. Checkbox. We're doing the working ones. All right. And checkbox on the outline and checkbox on approval pending. All right. So, let me pull something else down here. All right. So, all right. I'm gonna duplicate this guy, and what we're gonna do. Is open a plus a new board, and this board is going to be called let's see, host generation, and well, article generation sounds better to me, I think, don't you? All right, article generation. All right, cool beans. All right. Cool. All right, so create that. And then let me see, can I hide boards from things, or does it just kind of... all right, we're gonna go with that one. It's just duplicated. All right, cool. And then that... this should be fine to just drag down now. All right, so Trello. Yeah, Trello. All right, so for Trello, and this is a brand new board that I just opened up on it, but we've got basically for Trello, we have the full gamut for one user, and then right now the rest of the team are as guests because it's $100 a year, shoestring budget and all of that. Plus, they're specific to certain subsection of the boards, which I may have accidentally just showed you, which was not my intention. Okay, that's neat. I didn't know it did that. I don't like that it does that. But anyway, so now you can see that we have our various subwinds there. Yeah. Anyway, so you can see we've got our proofing station, readability stations, SEO station, and then a couple of other discussions, which I will not be going to while I'm streaming. All right. Is this doing that thing? I think it's doing that thing. Come on, don't do that thing. All right, it's good now. I'm still working on some bugs, but I did reduce my CPU usage, so that much is good at least. I wonder if I can... Anyway, that's not a weird line of thinking too. Plus, I don't have the funds to buy the technology to do the cool stuff, right? Which I can do the cool stuff. I got to know how to do the cool stuff. I can't do the cool stuff yet. As you can see, that I'm so proud of. You can see it. I'm so proud of this thing. It's ridiculous. Well, it's one of those things. Like I've been watching people with like do stuff and that sort of thing, and I'm like, I want a boom arm for my mic. A boom arm, by the by, costs like $100. The mic itself it's a Elgato that we purchased like rather early on, just because it was like, well, I'm gonna be trying to stream some more. We were trying to do something which didn't quite work out. Which anyway. So, but here I have this now a mic that has a stand. It's like, well, this sort of like honestly requires more support, like more placement. Like it needs to have at face placement because the way that it's designed, it's like it's supposed to be this way, right? It's supposed to be that. People are like, you talk into it, right? And actually, I don't know how the levels are fully. I didn't do a super check on it. I did a basic check, to make sure that wasn't like deafening. Actually, I could practically just have open air, but I realized that if there's anything that ever has lyrics, it's the voice cancellation doesn't necessarily cancel because it'll catch voice. So it's like and if anyone jumps in on the chat, I don't want to have to like freak out. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll put the earbuds on. Why the earbuds over the over ears? Well, honestly, those over ears are sweaty. I might actually end up going with the, because I got a pair of Razer something or others. I forget what they are now, but headset, you know, from Razer, and I might go reassemble that and start using them again because they were pretty comfy. I mean, they got the nice not foam, but they've got the nice fabric covering. So, which it's like, yeah, okay. It's not like I mean, again, to be fair to Razer, they're not a sound company. So they're if I were to be super about it, it'd be like the dynamic range stuff isn't like all the way. But then again, I'm not. I'm not a sound guy myself. Like I'm not super. I'm wearing earbuds and calling it fine. Do I notice the difference between the ranges? Yes, I do. But pardon me this for any sound guys that might listen to this, and my own brother for that matter. That's good. That's fine. You know that there's the limitations. It's tinnier or it's whatever. But I'm not a sound guy, and I understand these things. I perceive these things. I'm aware of these things, in fact. But I don't tend to let them bother me. So, anyway. So what we're doing here with this is we are building out my article generation process. And so right now what we're looking at is we've got our Google Docs, which it's an interesting conundrum I just gave myself. It should be fine. But I will, let's see, upload here. Oh, excuse me. Because there's basically a random number that's at the end of it. And I'm not exactly sure if I should let y'all see that, because that's, I know how these things work, put it that way. And it's the sort of thing where, somebody who's sage, like really sage about these things, could possibly reverse something. And I don't know. And I don't feel like doing the homework to find out if that's true or not. So, to the meme that I was talking about the other day, the fact of the matter is that I assume that everything is a freaking mimic. So, I'm a little paranoid, possibly a little bit delusional, but that's okay. I am mostly kidding around here, right? So let's see. Let's take a look. See here. So, shared spreadsheet. All right, and then I'm gonna add, or no, actually, this one should be tools. All right, so now you can see how I added a tools thing, and then add car spreadsheet, and then yeah, as I said before, I'm just doing this part off the bit. I'm curious to do. Oh no, I pushed the wrong button. I mean, obviously I didn't push the worst button. You're just seeing the thing that I want you to see. But I'm trying to see if I can. Would all who wish to die please raise their hand? What? Well, let me explain this, all right? Sometimes that's just how it is, right? How many times do I have to push the button? Will it do the thing? Yes, it does. Oh, that is sick. All right. So it did this thing. There's the spreadsheet, right? And then now I can just, oh no, well, I just screwed the pooch. So for that brief flash, if someone knows how to figure that out, please let me know. Like if it's one of those ones where it's like, I hope you don't know how, but if you do know how, that'd be kind of cool. Like, I'm not saying that there necessarily is, because, you know, they're unique identifiers, right? But because they're unique identifiers, they might have an algorithmic, reversible algorithmic sort of encryption applied to them that might be bilateral in some way, as opposed to being just merely a hash, right? But the single way, so they might be able to do it. I don't think so. I truly don't think so, but I could be wrong. Anyway, all right. So anyway, So that is a link to the spreadsheet. So now we got that stuff. The other part about this is that for the processes that we follow, or for the ones that I followed so far, oh, did I? Darn it! I need to reopen it. Whee. All right. So I'm gonna copy. Let's find the thing I'm looking for here. Cogeneration. That's what we're working on. Do I need to move those over to tools? No, I don't. Okay, but I am gonna copy this idea. So add another card, and I'm gonna make this one. Okay, I need to look at a certain part here because, like I said before, I'm coming up with this sort of like, shall we say, generative like kind of activity, like the actual like. Obviously, I did that before, and I did it a bunch of times before, and I failed in a certain way, like I was saying earlier, and all that. So there's a specific process that I follow, and I did as I said earlier, I did like a process, like kind of I said, hey, here's my process to GPT, and I went, hey, what's that process look like? Like, what's the process I'm working on? And it's like, it is like 17 steps with substeps and substeps. So that's what we're trying to itemize here. Which I should probably keep that a little bit more, kind of close to the chest and all that. But honestly, at this stage, I don't really care. Like, what's gonna happen? Oh no, here's the thing, right? You can emulate what I do. Cool. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. All right, so let's see. Oh, geez. Okay. That's content planning stuff. That's not what we're doing. All right. It's stuff that's already actually well done, in fact. Because you guys see how we already have like the the basic stuff, and all of them are done except for what comes down. So that's cool. But all right, so we're doing. Because we do them in batches of 6, right? It's batches of 5, but it's actually batches of 6 because that's how basically how initially Ghost was producing them, and that's what I want. That's what I've encouraged him to keep doing because I like his builds, and having them in like groups of 5 is really just kind of cool. So that's what we do there. Anyway, all right. So in the interim, the other thing that I'm looking for is I need to finish what I was doing here. So. What am I going to call this one? I'm going to call this one the article generation checklist. Shows how creative I am right now. Sometimes I'm more creative than others. Today, I am still fried out from like literally 2.5 weeks of just full tilt, push to the maximum, nose to the grindstone. Because like. This process choice and all that stuff, like going through those sort of nuanced stuff. I built this process, right, itself for all the wiggles and wobbles and all that stuff, like from the kind of the hard knocks of it. And so, article generation checklist. And so I built like these processes, right, and iterated. And it was a lot of iterations, like. Yeah, it ends up with 36 posts ready to go, and 30 that are already out there, and 31 that'll be out on Monday, and so on. But it starts with going through and like really, there was like because we had all the processes that I built out beforehand, right? And they were fine for what we were doing, but they obviously weren't good enough, right? And so I was talking about the entire Google thing and playing along with Google thing and all that. Obviously they weren't good enough, and on review, honestly, they weren't good enough. I was proud of the fact that we were doing process. I wasn't necessarily proud of I wasn't giving myself time to think about the product itself. Which, to be fair, it's better to do than not do, But it's also, I really, I wasn't as on point as I should have been. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of those sort of things. So, all right. Excuse me. All right. Someone is still very, very tired. I'm out of coffee. Yeah, I'm out of coffee and I'm out of water. I should probably go fix that. But we're in the middle of something, so I could wait. All right, so let's see. So first step is going to be title review. Change generic to specific. E.g. monoclass / core to interesting. Because like the one thing, and I've talked to him about it, but it's one of those ones where he was going for like that like super descriptive thing too. And so he's like, well, these are monoclass and these are core builds. Well, what's a core build for one thing? Like it's core, and I was talking with Randy about this, right? It's core, the core materials, the core books, right? Well, you know, when you say core materials, core books to me, like something like the Horizon Walker, I'm scratching my head at because I cut my teeth on third ed. So I don't know. I mean, I don't really remember the 3.5 books. I went through them, sure, but I don't remember them because I remember the third ed books, right? And so that information wasn't overridden by the 3.5 books. And so it's like, oh yeah, the Horizon Walker is part of the core. I'm like, is it really though? Yeah, I don't remember it being. And you look it up, and it's like, yeah, it's part of the core. And actually, you look into the you know, we did the SRD project, which we will revive our own internal SRD again. Honestly, what I'll probably have it happen with, it'll be much neater than what we were kind of looking at. I mean, what we did was okay, but it was a first phase and it kept on getting kind of kicked off. The first phase was getting getting the data kind of like first line kind of discussed and looked at and kind of figuring it out. And, now that we've done that and we're doing this, I could actually, I'm gonna probably, you know, I'll commit to it. I am going to work on getting the SRD much neater in kind of our presentation of it, and get it where it's much more readable. And also because like these glossary items, right, was the actual goal of the glossary is that you have the SRD items and then you kind of like they automatically link or hover over in some cases depending on configs over the chat over the spots, and so it looks really cool and it's kind of neat. But the problem is that you have to have them in smaller glossaries, and I hadn't figured out a way to effectively done that. Or rather, I just, like, at the end of February into March, I had just figured out a good way to do it, and I was about to roll that process out, and then, as I said, the traffic drop happened. I mean, the thing is that traffic drop was just, like, we were just about to, like, get to this phase where I was going to go through and do hard curation stuff and, like, get stuff sorted out to where I would like it. But unfortunately, basically Google says you don't get any more traffic, which means that we basically have to clear the air out effectively. And so the best way that the mentoring program basically said was the best way to handle this was just to start from scratch. Well, not from scratch, but, you know, take what we had and revise it, revitalize it, reconsider our content and our content plan, and go from there. And so that's what I've done. You know, that's what we've done. So I really do hope that the results here after that it passed, you know, 2 weeks of just lot of struggle, lot of push in, will get us that breakthrough. Because for all of us, for our own personal reasons that are in the crew, really need a win. And it's not just because we pushed super hard and we deserve a win. It's we've all, like, the past while yet, and I mean, I don't even the past while, a long while in some cases. It's been a rough go, and I know it's been a rough go all across, right, for sure. And there's no doubt about that. It had been rough for everyone in general, but for the crew, myself included, for the crew of Stellar Dragons games, Stellar Dragons on, it's just been hard. And again, there are lots of details there. There are lots of things. We've known each other for quite some time at this point, a few years, right? And there's a lot of things that everyone in this group is specifically, and some of those things are, everyone has hard times, right? But some of those things are abnormally hard. So I don't say that for, you know, sob story, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm just saying, I'm just kind of pontificating. Just kind of, well, there's a reason why I marked this one as just chatting, because even though I'm doing stuff, I'm mostly just just chat, just saying words, and to a pretend audience. Why? Because I'm okay with that. It's better than sitting in the silence. The potentiality to be heard yelling into the void is better by far than merely sitting in silence. So, all right, back to doing a task thing. Let me see. So the title review, change generic to specific. E.g. modify score. Okay. And then the next step there. Confirm, because all of this is done mostly. So, let's see. The topic. No, that they actually shoot, it didn't actually sum it up very well on that one. Normally AI summaries are actually generally pretty good, but this one lost some of my details. So let's see. Custom prompt, outline form, and sources according to the topic. I think this is talking. I mean, I can look at my source, the thing I wrote. Sources are automatically pulled. So something like generating it right through the potential titles recorded on student sheet. Yeah, and source sheet has a number of needs must fields that are recorded to the topic. Things like custom. Okay, yeah. So. Yeah, you know what? I don't care. I actually have it where it's locked down. So if someone goes, "Oh, I can walk this through," then kudos to you. Let me know, please. Don't be an ass. like that's my simple ask. Don't be an ass. There's enough of those in the world, and I'm one of them. So I don't condone more. All right. So this is what I did. So I am going to go with complete outline. No, complete spreadsheet. All right. Because wasn't that? Let me check something here. I don't think it should be harmful, but I gotta make sure I curate anything before I stream it, just to make sure I'm not like exposing information that shouldn't be out there, that sort of thing, Let's see, that one's not the one I'm looking for either. The crazy part is that like the process itself was already like well kind of. I already kind of knew the general gist, right? Okay, that doesn't help. Let's go up here. This is part of the actual like extensive backend that's there, which I need to go through. And this is actually what part of the process of what we're doing right now is. Oh, okay. Other than source 2, because source 2 is actually stat blocks, and so I've got a Zap from Zapier. It's a automation sort of dealio that will when it moves to a certain card, it'll pull from that card, and then it'll dump the data to the Google Sheet. So that's what fills in source 2. Because the cards themselves basically get generated by a certain checkbox. So there's a checkbox here that's Zap. Now I know it says true. It's not true. It's a lie. It was part of a different experiment, because that was actually part of the setup for like if these matched what I expected sort of things, right? So these ones actually are no longer true, but I don't want to modify that Zap column, because the Zap column, if I modify it, it'll basically make a card on the Trello and put it up in the main group to go through some processing, including the generation of the actual stat block, which that I Oh, if I had figured that out back in November, man, the entire picture would have been different. Oh my goodness. Because the thing is that, so, like, this is one of the big parts of this content plan, is that we were supposed to do like articles on the individual builds, right? And like kind of talk about those individual builds. Like, this is because the thing is that because of the skill that Ghost has on this stuff, and I'm not even tooting his horn or, oh, our staff is so great. No, no, no. The guy knows his stuff when it comes down to building these character stuff and all that. He's been doing it for 2 decades, like, straight. I've been doing it on and off. He's been doing it, like, well, effectively semi-professional. Right? And so, he's got these builds, right? And so he's got these, this is virtual. And so there's the thing is that there's all these like nuance ins out. All of the choices there are done for specific reasons. And part of the fun of this is having the very algorithmic based AI, well, generative, content generative thing, compare the details and come out with like, here's this thing that this build, this complex series of numbers, more or less, is capable of doing, and it's generally pretty much on point. But that's because it's pattern analysis for something that's designed to be analyzed for patterns by something that's designed to analyze patterns. So it's the sort of thing where you've got kind of the right things kind of meeting each other. It was just a matter of figuring out the words. And the problem that I ended up running into, by the way, just like with my original generation process, was I decided to cheap out. I decided to use the 3.5 version, and I didn't follow through with my own LLM arrangements. I have a laptop that's got a decent enough details to sit in the back room. Actually, my Stable Diffusion server's running off of it, and it's been doing pretty well. All set with a 2080, I think it is, so basically this NVIDIA, whatever, GeForce. And so basically it's able to do these sort of things. But when I was messing around with it back when, first, one thing, I didn't really have all the time in the world because I was working the job, the day job. And secondly, it was kind of slow and buggy, and the interface was kind of ish, and the quality of content was kind of ish. It just overall wasn't very good. And it struck me as though and it was very slow in comparison to using the GPT API. Plus also GPT API, I could, do it programmatically. Well, that's great. That means I can do it like in bulk. And so I produced like 300 something posts, 300 something articles that were very gisty, very summary sort of like points. And they didn't miss the points by and large, but there's a lot of weird stuff that was going on with it. And the reason why that was the case, and hindsight's 2020, is because again, it would have cost me like, $1 or $2 per generated post, plus the time, for editorial. But what's time, right? It's my time. It's my group's time. We're not, it's not something that has a straight monetary equivalent at this point in time. It'll turn into money is like what it comes down to. But the cost per post was like $2 or $3, something like that. And it's like, man. And so versus the GPT-3, the 3.5 Turbo, where it was like literally pennies to it. Like it was like per post, it was like 5 cents. Well, you get what you pay for. And so the content quality wasn't exactly, it was, again, I think it was useful. The traffic that we had for the site showed that it was useful. But then Google's like, turns off the power. Yeah, we're not accepting that answer. It's like, well, okay. So I was going to say something. The point is that I got like, because of that, there's actually a whole bunch of lines of code that I have running in the back end to generate these stat blocks. And if I had figured out that the answer to the question was using GPT-4, then I would have gone. Things would have gone more in the direction they're finally starting to go now, which is we're developing kind of in-house art direction, and so that means that for Stable Diffusion, we're moving further and further and further away from the AI generative content from what we were accused of when we first started this stuff. Because we were accused, and the thing is that of course I had to push back on it, right? I had to say, no, you're wrong, because you're attacking the small guy. We're trying to figure things out. And so I have to take that super defensive stance. Because again, there's 5 of us, right? Like we're trying to like make this thing real. We don't know what we're doing. We're just trying to make it happen. And I've got people on the Facebook because I ran a quick ad when I was first rolling it out, where people are going, "Oh, this is AI generated content. It's evil. It's evil. You're stealing stuff from people." It's like, well, no more than any artist steals. Like, I don't understand your point. Like, I really just don't comprehend it. Well, oh, you're taking other people's product and amalgamating them into a new thing. That's stealing. Whose art strokes, like, whose concepts are in this picture here? If you can tell me, all right. If you can tell me who it's stealing from, I'll have a discussion there. Not who does it look like. Who's it stealing from? So, in the context of this sort of thing, like again, tell me. It's like it's literally the, oh no, you're bad because you're what? Because I'm trying something interesting, new, unique, trying to innovate, and not doing a great job, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to innovate. Me and my team's trying to innovate. We're trying to figure stuff out, trying to figure out new stuff, trying to leverage new stuff, and we're the bad guys. Because y'all what? I'm not gonna go as far as going, well, haters gonna hate or anything that dismissive, but it's like, what's the actual argument? Because the one that was the most concise that came up was that it's in direct competition of real artists. Well, now we have to ask the question of what's art. You know, now they ask some questions that they don't want to open the door for. Because I'm gonna say, throwing paint at a canvas and saying this represents my inner turmoil is not art. If we go down that route. It's better that we agree and go, beauty's in the eyes of the holder. Art, good and bad there are composite good and composite bad art for sure. You know, there's some objective component to that valuation call. But the notion of it being art or not is not really something that should be, I would argue, up for contest, merely because effectively you open up an entire can of worms. And if it's like, well, that's not good art, well, then it's not art. Well, okay. And I don't agree with that. I mean, I'm going to look at someone and go, yeah, it's got, you know, I can see what you're going for. I see what you're, you know, even that example, that stereotypical example of throwing paint at a canvas and saying this is art. Well, is it? Is it not? What makes it art? Because again, going down that road, well, this isn't art because it's stolen from it. It's like, well, who inspired for the drawer? Who inspired you? Who instructed you? And if you go, well, I learned from, say, I just started drawing. I'm going to say BS. Because odds are the individual who just started drawing did see drawings beforehand and was inspired by what they saw. And even if it was a cartoon. And they may not know the source. That's fine. I'm not going that far. And that's why the reason why I'm not going that far is because I don't know what the sources of these are. And I say the sources as in like the many sources that these models were trained of to synthesize such things. What I do know is that I think it looks really cool, and I think that it looking really cool and me putting in the effort and the time to figure out a prompt that works and figure out a series of things that works and a seed that works and going through processes and utilizing various techniques and so on. It's a different type of art. Give you that. It's still art though. Now, what I was doing back at that point in time where the person was critiquing and kind of like shaking their fist furtively at me because I wasn't going to stop, was a bit rougher, was bad, honestly, and I do stand by that. What I had done there was bad. It was bad not because it was immoral. It was bad because it was bad. What do you want? Like, it was bad because it wasn't good. You know, the sort of thing. It was bad because it didn't serve what I was trying to go for. It was bad because it was poorly done. And it was shoddily done because, again, I didn't know better. I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, I can put a bunch of them out there and it'll be great. Because the thing is that contextually it's that or use demo images, not demo images, use open source images, like freely open available images, because I don't have the resources to hire someone to deal with it, and I don't have the time to meet the production schedule demand. You might argue will lower your production schedule demand in that case. But why? Why do I have to lower my production schedule demand when I can meet the production schedule demand with art produced by such a thing? Because I don't have an art house. Do I want an art house eventually? Honestly, yeah, I kind of do. I would love to be able to go to a group of artists and go, I like your stuff, I like your stuff, I like your stuff. You can learn. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm making enough money that I can commission you out for a decent wage. Not maybe an amazing wage, because, you know, it depends upon the details, right? But a decent wage where if you can produce X number of pieces of content, when I provide you with a prompt, a good content with a prompt over, you know, week over week, if you can do that for me, and go through your entire process, which is a big ask, I know, but if you can do that for me in a week's time, so I'm ready for the next week by the Saturday, then I totally, you know, I would go with that, and I would cite them, of course, you know, of course, it goes without saying, because I'm not an unfair player on these things. That's the thing about it, but it's the sort of thing where I can't afford that. I couldn't afford to pay these people, you know, I couldn't afford to even think about paying these people. So by using generative contents like this, I'm not putting people out of work because there wouldn't be work in the first place. It's not in direct competition because there wouldn't be a position in the first place because I can't pay them. And frankly speaking, like I said, like I get good enough at this. Hey, you know what? Now what I can do is I can go to, you know, with this part right here, right? So say that this gets, you know, this picture for something from React, right? Say this portrait here, and I'm able to develop it further or not. Turns into something cool, and we start, you know, making those contacts and that sort of thing. Well, guess what ends up happening from there? Oh boy, I can now take this and go to an artist and go, hey, can you draw in this style? All right, can you develop this? Can you use this person and use them in interesting things and put them in interesting things? Can you make a graphic novel on this stuff? If I give you the setting pieces, if I give you these things there to work with, can you go ahead and do something with this? Can you make it work? And if the answer to that question is no, well, of course I'm not going to hire him. But if the answer to the question is yeah, I can. Well, if the answer to the question, let me back this up. If the answer to the question is no because you used AI, well, I'm going to give him the boot and say, well, you had a position. You had the potentiality of a position of making it in like that, and you refused to use the tool that was available to you. Why do you think that anybody would want your stuff? Or do you think you're the next Rembrandt? Or Picasso, or whichever? Yeah, maybe post-mortem? But you don't want to be like that. You want to be able to pay your way while you're alive, right? So come on. And utilizing these mechanisms is a good thing. So this is a stepping stone to go into other things. Like, for example, and Ghost, of course, our jack of all trades, right? Has a bit of an artistry hand. And the thing is that because he's seeing these things, he's getting better at that part of things. He doesn't spend, and he's not a devotee of the drawing arts. He's more of the mind stuff, you know, the writing stuff. But he still does it and does it fairly well. And it's the sort of thing where by witnessing the generative pieces, guess what? Wow, look at that. I like that line work. I don't like the, you know, kind of how the jaw there is kind of working out. Or earlier when the lace was really weird on the collar, it was really, really insane, and I did some more processes on it. Like, these things are legitimate. These things are good because it allows faster iteration. Same thing with code, which I've been using it extensively in the coding area. As I said before, you know, I produced like 5,000 lines of code to you know, fill in needs as I was going through stuff. So that was pretty cool. And again, could I do the research, the study on that? Yeah, I could. Could I learn how to do line work like this? It would take me some time, but yes, I could. I literally could do so. I don't want to spend the time to do so. I don't have the predilection to do that. But for the graphics sort of thing, getting the graphics and putting them in the right spot, I got a bit of background on it. I mostly enjoy that. Actually, I was starting to play around with like the clone tool stuff, which is kind of cool. For one, because like it had like a double arm, and I was really kind of happy with how that would turn out. But the point is that like we end up in this space where it's a different art. And am I personally good at it? Not yet. No, I don't think so. I'm not going to say I am. But I have processes that are starting to work out, and it's starting to finally make sense to me in some ways. So for this side of things. Anyway, I just wanted to bring this up here because this actually relates to our next portion. So with this guy here, like all that does relate because there's a graphics portion for what our process looks like here. So Where did I put my lists? I put my lists somewhere over here. All right. I mean, actually, let's put it this way. So the previous stream I did with music from a buddy of mine, and it's good stuff. I'd like to use it more. The one problem is right now I had a little bit of a de facto copyright type issue, which it's not. It didn't ding us, but no. All right. Why? Speaking of dinging, why is that doing that? It should not be doing that. It's rude, and I don't want it to do that. And it should be on stream. Did I accidentally? I think I accidentally did something wrong. I don't like that. Oh, grabbed the wrong thing. Problem with messing with an overlay when we're live. I missed because I don't like where I put the chat in. Now I want to check this and fix it because it just popped up and got my attention. All right, so let's go with refresh. Does that button work? Yes, there we go. How is the size? Yeah, it's fine. All right. So anyway, so that ramble there on the side. It's just the sort of thing where I just I look at it and I go, All right. Let's see. That's what oh, the other thing, because I need to fix that. I don't know why. Because it should be working the way it should be working, right? Stream mode. Enable streamer mode. There we go. So I accidentally disabled streamer mode, which means that it was picking up the dings. Because those I actually, the funny thing is I don't like them anyway. I don't like I really don't like the Discord. I don't like the sound. I don't like those sounds, especially on places that are popping. Which not to say that we are or anything, but still, you know what I'm saying. Like I don't know. The one thing that I do not like about the streamer mode is that process where it's a slider that's like disable sound. It's like I want to have join notifications, right? Because join notifications are kind of useful to a chat. If I'm like looking this way, and I mean, yeah, now like when it was over here on this screen, or and this screen's still on the horizontal, because this one I actually turned vertical. This screen over here is like the positioning was wrong, so I didn't see it out of the corner of my eye, which I normally do, but I didn't see it, so we're just kind of like, oh no. So, all right, what was I doing? I was going back to that channel. AI. Oh my goodness. All right. So now what I need to do is, so that's the complete source sheet other than source 2, which as we saw, so source 2 is blank, source 3 is blank. Outline, here's our outline, which is dynamically generated based upon the content here. And as you can see, so one of the parts about this, and I still don't fully understand all of it, but one of the parts about this is that I want it to do lots and lots of bullet lists, because bullet lists are easy to read, quick to read. Suffice to say, bullet lists are what people, what people, are really, they're looking for just the facts, right? Just the tiny bit. On equipment. Changed it a little bit from where it was, because I didn't like, or there's something I didn't like about the other ones where they were like, speaking about continuous iterative, right? Just, oh, well, I already have my established process. No, you continuously iterate with the information. I hadn't yet gone through and added the new information to these yet. Let's see, 5 points. Bullet list of combat scenarios. Colon. Maybe that'll make it clearer for this thing, for it to do it the way I want it to do it. Because like one of the biggest parts is that this part, these had to be like super heavily touched on, like copied and pasted, moved around, like the bullet list having to be actually developed for that one. And those ones are like, yeah, great and all, but we're trying to just go, how do you use this build in a dungeon crawl, in an open field event, in an ambush event? We're basically trying to get people to think about, you know, on a wider scope, like what happens when you encounter these sort of things. And just kind of, again, the primary point of these articles is they're discussion pieces. They're, oh yeah, you know, there's this thing about it, about XYZ, you know, event, like a concept or whatever. Oh, how's it supposed to be dealt? Like, what was that one? Ambush. Oh, okay, we can do it this way. Like, this ability, you know, or this idea from this character, or that sort of, it's just inspiration stuff. So it's a really cool sort of like, I think it's a really cool section. I think it's a really useful section. So it's one of those sort of things. And then we just kind of want to talk about party strategies and stuff like that for this section, the specific build stuff. And then bullet points of 5 weeks counters, and those bullet points actually end up becoming tables. It's the sort of thing where this particular variant of the AI doesn't do well with building tables itself. So we end up having to build the tables ourselves, which is fair. It's fine, and it's one of those things where it's just part of the process. It makes a better article, and that's the goal here: is a readable, usable article that is a conversation piece, and that gets people's attentions, and gets them kind of thinking about what's going on here. Because it's easy to just go, well, here's a character sheet, here's a character build, deal with it, and just walk away with it. And it's like, and that's fine. I mean, that's fine. And that's what some people are kind of encouraging me to aim at. It's like, it's easier in a manner of speaking. And that's great, but I want to go through a little more details of like this, you know, these builds do, in my opinion, demand some level of respect. And so, so you know, having them as conversation pieces again is a good thing. So anyway, enough of that ramble. So we got this kind of dynamically built out outline that gets used, and then we go into the custom prompts. So the particular tool has the options to customize basically how it handles what we're going at. So in this one, it's talking about, and again, these are dynamically built. So even though for my process I go look at the stuff, I don't really need to, because this part I've already done. But I am reviewing it now after, you know, kind of like lessons learned from the previous ones. But these held out pretty well. They did the job mostly. Mostly. Actually, there's one that I want to change though on the article or on the outline. That I want to test. Image prompt for stable diffusion. I don't know if it'll work, but it might be cool. Because like, that was one of the advantages of the previous way that I was doing it, is that I could do a lot of cool nuanced stuff like that, where I would define like an image prompt format, introduce the format, and I could play with that format from there, and got some really neat stuff. Stuff that needed more curating it, to be honest, you know, more work on it, right, more human eye touch to it than I gave it, which I should have, you know. But still, overall, some really neat images were generated from that. And just needed some you know, some cleaning up, which I'm still using some of them actually. So it's kind of cool. All right, so the focus of the specialized build, the custom prompts we already talked. I was looking at them. I wanted to see if there was anything there. Interesting ways to use what's written. Classes to do use directly from the source, full rights content. The details discussion specifically from the private source. Like I was saying earlier, like this is stuff, and I go and lambast the AI if it doesn't do the thing I tell it to. If you don't do this, you're wrong. is what I tell it, because it works. And it's the sort of thing where it's like, oh yeah, it's mean. Yeah, it's an AI, and it needs to be slapped around a little bit sometimes, until it learns better, just like anyone. I'm a horrible person, right? Classes. So the reason why it says a dash is because it's actually part of the implementation of the slug, and so basically website stuff. Game, same thing. And the status is my own internal, and actually our process will actually update it when we get to it. And then the topic itself, which again is related to, it gets referred to, and it's the class, the name of the build, our internal name to the build, and the fact that it's DD 3.5. All right, and then this app. All right, so back to what we were talking about here. That I've ran through that entire article planning thing, kind of pulled the inspiration from it. Kind of what we're working on, like how that works. So now, complete spreadsheet other than source 2, as I said, that gets generated later on as a specific process from our sources, as we already have, and it's a dynamically produced stat block, which again, that is just I'm still upset on the fact that I didn't think about this back in December, because a generated stat block is, that is gold. That is what's actually, what people are, what folks on these builds are actually looking for, right? Because what I'm looking for, what's the stat block look like? And so we end up generating, if you look back at the other ones, we end up generating level 1, 5, 10, 15, and 20. And that's because those are kind of your benchmark levels, kind of like a snapshot of where the character is at those levels. So it's really cool for the discussion stuff. Whether or not people will click through it, I don't know yet. But I think it looks cool, and I honestly would be like, oh, sweet. And by what I've been told, that folks that kind of might look for these sort of things have a tendency of wanting to build up the front and then dealing with the stuff up front, right? As opposed to me, who I'm like, ooh, article. Reads the article. Oh yeah, it's cool. All right. So, yeah. So the next up here, as I pull my ear out, unfortunately, the next up here is source 2. All right, so we've put all the information in here. So we've compared all this. We got our source 1, which generally I did already, but just in case. Oh, glossary, that's what it was. All right. Let's see, review and add image to add. Let's see, review, glossary, review, add image, and let's see, add image, synonyms. I totally can't spell that word. Synonym. I want to put an N on there every single time. Somebody in the background is snickering, and I'm going, no, that's not the proper thing to snicker at. Not in this context. Maybe in the future, but not in this context. All right. So, glossary review, synonyms, and I'm gonna have to open them up now. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's see. So in this case, we are working on the Dread Necromancer. So we've already got the Barbarian builds, the Bard builds, Battle Dancer builds, Crusader builds, Dragon Shaman builds, and the Dragonfire Adept builds. The Dragonfire Adept builds aren't released yet, but these are all good links, and the posts are coming out. The discussion posts are coming out. So, all right. So Bad Touch Lady is the one we're looking at right now, but we're going to open up all 5 of them. So that is how I operate. I don't get out of bed for more than 5 posts at a time. Technically 6, but who's counting, right? All right, so... oh no! Technically 6, but... because I have the plug in there. Because, I like that plug. All right, so now we have this guy. And so you can see that the pattern here is actually not... it's not been touched, because I got it... programmatically. I grabbed it from our bulk pages that we had posted on the templated site, the trial. 6, who's counting, right? And I wonder Will that mute all of them and make it stop appearing? Yes, okay. Because that's silly hearing my own voice in... Yeah, anyway. So, technically 6. What was I saying? Train of thought. I am fried, but I am committed to getting this at least worked and like getting the process built out, because that's one of my like after action, like high priority get done sort of things is getting that done. So as you can see here, and it's fine, you can see my dashboard, I don't care. But I am going to collapse the menu because we're not focused on that. See, my problem is that having that stuff up means that you the viewer, right, get distracted by things that are not relevant to what we're talking about. So stop looking at it. Stop looking at my menu. Said stop looking at it. I don't know if what I'm doing is working. Stop looking at it. Do I wait? No? Okay. Does this not work? Alright, I know that's buggy, but jeez. Alright. So anyway, alright, so as I was saying, so we get this space where this thing's not really good to go. And trying to think there's a way for me to do this effectively. Actually, hitherto, what I'm gonna do, and if you'll pardon my smoke for the moment, because I am thinking I should do this a little bit different. I am. Let's close that program. Oh, I said close that program. No, never mind. I'm not going to do that. Because I don't want to have that little control over what's being shown. So, I know. Paranoia, right? Everyone's out to get me, but still. So basically what is happening on this scene, though, is that we see here's the level, right? And then that sort of thing. Well, I need to, and actually I'm going to go over here and add kind of the rough steps. So, glossary review, Control X. All right, and then add image. That's not what I wanted to do. All right, and I am going to do this because I know my eyes will get weird if I don't. Glossary. Add image, add synonyms, add synonyms, fix tables. All right. Because and specifically the CM one, and the reason why we're using it is it has a really cool bulk upload. So we basically had a bunch of posts, and this is the thing I was talking about earlier with the SRD, where we need to break it down. And I have the technology. I just need to implement it, because these are originally each were 5 posts in one thing. So, all right. Let's see. The guards enter the house carefully. The cat led them here. They heard whispers upstairs. A mother who seemingly was confronting her child. No, not worry, little one. No one will harm you. The evil men are gone. One of the guards rushed upstairs. Kidnapped victims? He thought. Let's see. Kidnapped victims. He thought as he broke open the door from where the voice came. As the light of his torch illuminated the scene, a chill ran down his spine as a scream of horror got stuck in his throat. At the sight of, let's see. Go do a little bit of editorial of this. Sight of the thing who was sitting in the rocking chair. Let's see. Sight of the thing that was sitting in a. Let's see. As the light of his torch illuminated the scene, a chill ran down his spine as a scream of horror got stuck in his throat. The sight of the thing that was sitting in the rocking chair rose the hardened veteran of the guard in his steps. It was caressing an old dusty doll. "No one will hurt you again, my dear," the thing said to the doll as it rose from the chair slowly and started making its way towards the guard. We already got really because I've read these things before. You know, I know what they are. So let's see. No one will hurt you again, my dear. Let's see. I'm gonna have to go through like way edit these more in general. I'm gonna have to do another cleanliness pass later on. Because right now the focus right now is building the actual stuff up. But just looking at this one, I love Ghost's work. It is my absolute pleasure to work with the man. But as he himself said, doing the editing stuff, like doing the typography stuff, he's good at getting the information out there. He's amazing at getting it out there, and actually he's really eloquent and really well spoken. Really, I can speak the highest praises for this fella. But editorial, like the editing process, the typographical stuff, with all respect, he needs an editor, and that ends up being me, which I'm not the best editor in the world myself. I'm still learning the process. So all the learning. I mean, again, I'm coming from a tech perspective. I don't know how to do language stuff. Wait. Moving on. Let's see. No, do not worry, little one. Evil men are gone. One of the guards rushed upstairs to kidnap victims. He thought as he thought. He thought. Kidnap victims. He thought. He broke open the door from where the voice came. With a crack. He broke open the door with a crack. He broke open the door with a crack. Seeking out where the voice is. Where the voice. The hush. Whispers. Originated from. There we go. Let's see. One of the guards rushed upstairs. Kidnapped victims, he thought. He broke open the door with a crack. Seeking out where the hushed whispers originated from. As the light of his torch illuminated the scene, a chill ran down his spine as a scream of horror got stuck in his throat. That's a comma. I know it's a comma. Someone was saying it's a comma splice. I don't care. A chill ran down his spine. A chill ran down his spine. Meanwhile, the sight. Let's see. I feel like that's got to be placed somewhere else. Let's see. As the light of his torch illuminated the scene, a chill ran down his spine. The sight of the thing that was sitting in the rocking chair froze the hardened veteran of the guard in his steps. It was caressing an old dusty doll. The scream of horror got stuck in his throat. He could not move. I had way too much fun. A scream of horror got stuck in his throat. Could not move. Or even utter a sound in his terror. Alright. The sight of the thing who was sitting in a rocking chair froze the sight of the thing that who was the sight of the thing who was sitting in the rocking chair froze the hard veteran of the guard in his steps. It, was caressing an old dusty doll. A scream of horror got stuck in his throat. He could not move, nor even utter his terror. No one will hurt you again, my dear, the thing said to the doll as it rose from the chair, slowly from the chair. As it, the thing said the doll. Well, let's look at the build. A Dragon Necromancer, Dragon Disciple, Soul Eater. So the Dragon Disciple allows you to become a half dragon. One species of. Look, I'm gonna let like weird spellings like that. Like, let me put it this way. Fellow's like knows 10,000 languages, so he can spell things however the heck he wants, and I'm okay with that. One species of dragon are the Shadow Dragons, whose breast weapons deal not damage, but negative levels. Oh, it's this build. I remember him talking about this one. No, this is terrifying. I hate negative levels. 3.5's got a lot of really cool stuff. I like 3.5 better than I like 5th by like leaps, bounds for a whole number of reasons. I like it better than 4th. I'm nostalgic for 3rd, but I understand that I understand why 3.5 was an advent. Or an advantage, an improvement. And there are improvements for 5th. Things like the advantage mechanisms are pretty cool. That's pretty swank. Add to the D&D system, but it ends up converting to in a way that. But anyway, so back to what I was saying though is that, but negative levels being as readily viable in a manner of speaking, or a technique in 3.5, and I don't know or to care if it is in the future ones, but it's one of those ones where I'm just like, yeah, no. Ability drain is bad enough. Negative levels is just like, ugh. It's the sort of thing where you start realistically having to have the level calculators around the table if you're gonna be thrown down at negative levels. Where it's like. All right, so let's see. Dragon Disciple allows you to become a half dragon. One species of dragon. This is one species of dragon. One species of dragon. I'm gonna actually fix that one because it's gonna bother me. This is one species of dragon. Let's see. The Shadow Dragons are one species of dragons. There we go. It's the order of the words. The Shadow Dragons. There we go. The Shadow Dragons are one species of dragon whose breath damage deal not damage, or whose breath weapon deal not damage, but negative levels. Between your breath weapon, your claw, and bite, each dealing negative levels, and your innovation spells, you can reduce most living targets into soulless husks in a round or two. I see multi-attack. That's just terrifying. Okay. You said to the doll. Things to the doll. Creature. Rising from the chair. This monstrosity started making its way towards the... Rising from the chair slowly, this monstrosity started making its way towards the guard. Dot. Love it. All right. don't at me, bro. All right. So now, and I kind of talked about, let's see, where are we on the steps? Because right now the problem is that the card doesn't actually exist at this stage just yet. It can't exist at this stage. Because hold on a second. Let me actually try it. I'll show you a average. I don't know why I'm chewing on the earbud. That's kind of weird. All right, if I do say so myself, that's kind of weird. All right, so I'm gonna try. Let's see what happens if I hit there. Because right now, it's gonna be off screen that these are generated at. Because I don't have them, I have them generated kind of somewhere on a different, well, not kind of somewhere, but on the main board, where they would historically be processed through, right? Which, if you saw this, your eyes would just, your head would just spin. All right, Zaps, do your thing. I'm a little impatient right now. I'm tired. And again, the primary purpose at the moment is to just like build out the concept, right? Also, I know that I was forever ago on this one. Boy. Alright, so this one's holding. Review. Start. Oh, what do I do? Alright, so then I need. Torn. I am so torn on this. Although I know one thing I am gonna do. Let me see if I can change background of the board. Ooh, I like that one. We're using. Oh no, that's the one I'm using elsewhere. That's actually the one I use. And when I was talking about like the certain choices that I didn't like, I didn't really know what I was doing. Yeah. Okay. I need to go to. Actually, let's go with. Okay, do I not? Where did I put it? Gross. I don't think I like that. Yes, this one. This is the one we're using for this thing. Yeah. Now, if you're watching this and you're seeing the scrolling back behind the like that cool scroll back, you can definitely see how this background is that scroll background. I did this one the other day, and I just yes, it is. I love it. I love that one, and so much so that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put this in the scroll background. And this is trippy seeing it kind of like overlaid like that. I gotta say, so it's kind of cool. Because obviously I'm monitoring, the things, right? All right, so where were we? Beside making things trippier and trippier and trippier. Okay. So let's see. Let's check if that zap did the thing that I needed it to do. Unfortunately, it's still off screen because again, that's yeah, it did. Oh, cool, it did. All right, so is it good enough? It generated both of those. Yeah, I guess we are at the point where I run those apps. Oh, neat. All right. Cool. All right. So actually, all right, I will do this. Oh, except I'm not quite, because there was one process I needed to do before I could do that, and it's not a super crazy process. I just need to figure or apply that one solution to that one thing. That's what it was. All right, so let's see. It's not readability station. It is article generation. All right, and then start. and you'll see, boop, it appears. And then, so we're gonna go back to here though. And so we were working on the, hopefully this doesn't make too much noise. Oh, that was way more noise than it should have. Sorry, just the positioning of the mic bothered me there. It was in my way. So, hopefully I didn't bang it too much for y'all. Alright, apparently for somebody it was too much. Oh well, sorry. I just couldn't. All right, so so what we're looking at here is we've got this one that's the monoclass build, and like I said before, current policy, my current policy, because I get to define policies, right? My current policy is that monoclass, although it's extremely informative, it's not useful. So we're gonna go to ChatGPT. There we go. And then we're going to use this information here. All right. Paste that there. No. Please provide 10 viable build. What are you talking about? Unusual activity for my device. I need to replace this bloody thing. I can do so much better. Let's see. Let's see. So let's see, just doing some quick research. Would be in the form of D&D 3.5 Dread Necromancer. All right. Making progress. Slow progress. Faster than I was this morning though. This morning I barely got anything. Like we were like this far and I'm just being so badly. All right, let's see. I can't help myself. All right, so let's see. Because looking over the gist of it, looking over the build itself, for names that work for it, one of the recommendations that was thrown out there, and it's a bit too wordy, like it's a bit too long for what we're looking for SEO type things, but bloody Ghoul Commander. I can't spell Kanaki. Let's see. Tokyo Ghoul. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna look at Tokyo Ghoul for a second here, and I'm gonna try and figure out, because Ghoul Commander, right? We gotta at least have one bad pun, build name off of Ghoul Commander, and we have the flexibility because there's the one that needs to know. So we've got Bad Touch Lady, Blood Mage, the monoclass, which is what we're gonna rename, which is a like a zombie Lich Lord type thing, the one that we just read through, right? Hive Mind build, which that one gets wild. It's basically a specialist one versus a like one of them's like a specialist one. I don't remember which one it was, but and one of them's like one of them's just hordes of undead, and yeah, it's the Hive Mind, right? And absolutely nuts build. But let's see. So I'm trying to think of a good like a good something to go off of, because of what I said before. One of them was Ghoul Commander. It's like as soon as I see Ghoul, I have to figure out some corny something. And it can't be something as simple. It can't be like, all right. I'm totally probably getting myself looking into something I shouldn't see. Memes, images. Let's see what memes are there out for it. Because like I want to fight. I want to find one. Let's see. There's 1,000 minus 7. See, I'm trying not to do that one because the one that first came to mind was like Knucklecracker or something like that. And Ghost would immediately get that reference, which would be the point. He'd be like, "Really? Did you do that?" But although then again, because he is French Canadian, no, it's terrible. Let's kind of scroll through some of these memes. That's terrible and wrong and what? Oh jeez. Yeah. Yeah, I don't agree with that one. Huh. Interesting. I mean, honestly, now maybe it's because the way I watched it. You know, I was watching it with friends, like in a kind of a straight run. But Tokyo Ghoul wasn't confusing. It was enthralling, for sure, but it wasn't confusing. You know, I get that, but I mean, I'm still fine with this. But season 1, like, the season 1 opening, I still listen to, and, like, it just murders my head. It just absolutely, just tears me up. Because it's just one of those ones where, the opening... I love it. Before Tokyo Go. After Tokyo Go. Actually, the funny thing is that for me, like that rolling crack of my knuckles, there was a sergeant of mine that was my instructor. I can't remember his name now. In comm school, because you know Marine and did technical stuff in the Marines and all that. But so in comm school, and he would do it in a way. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, his ism was actually like I think he was that my ex-girlfriend. I forget now. One of them was like that. But one of them would do something very similar to the cracking the knuckles thing, and so I already kind of had that. And I watch it, and it's just like, no, don't give into it. The other way of that meme is the calls are calling, right? The darkness of the broken world sort of thing. I don't think that I agree with that one. This is the only popular meme the Tokyo Ghoul fanbase has. What? No, I mean, no, I'm not gonna agree with that. That's just if you didn't find the memes in Tokyo Ghoul, then you did it wrong. Oh jeez. Oh no! No, not that. Oh, I'm gonna cry over that one. Oh, that scene. The broken body through the. Oh. No, no, friend. No, don't do it. I don't even know. It's just because you just don't. You're just not tracking. That's all. You just don't know what you're talking about. That one. What is this? Oh no, not a route. No, no. Yeah, Unravel, or yeah, it's just. Oh my goodness, that song is that song is. And then there's the cover, which I would, if I weren't concerned about issues on the stream or whatever. But there's that one cover, and I am spacing on the artist's name. I need to get like a thing, but he does a lot of good like anime cover stuff. And that dude, like that cover of it. At first, I was like, yeah, I see why you went this way language wise, but then I don't see, it doesn't match up because there's certain parts of Unravel that were, Tokyo Ghoul season 1 theme song was they really nailed it. With the lyrics that were, on screen, the translated lyrics. I don't speak like Japanese, of course, but the thing is that the translations lyrics, it would have been hard, like it would have been almost impossible to tune. So I see why he changed some of the lyrics, but there's some of the concepts there, and I can't. It's been too long, honestly, like a couple of years at this point since I watched it. But I do know that I grew fond of his English cover, the fella's English cover, just because it was the sort of thing where it was like, you know what? Just for completeness sake, because it's gonna bother me. Unravel cover. Yeah, there we go. That guy right there, Jonathan Young. And again, out of courtesy for copyrights and all that stuff, I won't play it. But I am gonna say, his cover. If you have it, if you're not familiar, seriously check it out. Put me down, go check it out right now, sort of thing. Because like his thing is just it really hits it, and it like resonates even harder when you can, when you have the language lyrics like in your ears without it's working out. And again, there's certain disjoint, but the thing is those disjoints are chosen very specifically for fair enough reasons, and it gets the points across. So I'm just saying, like, I could that one's like I listen to it, I immediately cry. I just and then actually the crazy one. So that was where I was when I was at a low point. Listen to it, it would break me. And then when I listen to it now, honestly, I'll get like hyped up and amped up and be like especially if I'm in like the aggressive hard points, which it's not exactly the best place to be. But you know what? Hey, if it means I punch my fist through a wall and shake it off, I'm okay with this. I haven't punched my fist through a wall in like 10 years. I did punch the door frame though, not so long ago, but that was a bad idea, and I realized it rather quickly. Practically broke my pinky on that one. Let's see. I try not to do that. Maybe there's a math meme that we can implement around that. So is 9,903? I can do math. Is that a prime number? I think it is. Am I retarded? Yes. That didn't work out the flight I was trying to. Darn it! I needed to figure out that one problem. Let's see. No. Okay. Well, 2 yeah, because I got 3. Yeah. I realized that as soon as I asked the question. Leave me alone. But it's a composite number. Okay. Yes, I'm thinking way too hard about this because it's just how this goes, All right, so far, I'll think about it. Some more. This is where we're at. I gotta figure it out before I run the next part of the script though, which is ridiculous. I gotta figure out the name for the monoclass one. Knowing what I know about the build, knowing what the what the suggestion ends up being, and all that stuff. I need to figure out what a good name for it is, because otherwise I'm wrong. Wait, was I wrong? I was looking at Bad Touch Lady. I need to look at the one for. Oh, we're at monoclass. The undead army made its way slowly towards the capital. Now that the free city had been destroyed, the Dread Emperor marched his armies towards the capital of those insipid Phaloi, a country as weak as their pitiful king. No one would stand in his way. As he glanced below from his flying zombie dragon, the swarming zombies and skeletons made their way slowly towards his final goal. He smiled a decrepit smile, rotten skin falling off as he did. Soon his victory shall be total. All right. Firstly, I gotta take an editorial on this one, but I do have to make sure I save this one, and I made an editorial on it because it's always tragic if fields get lost. Yeah, I guess today this might be the only, we might only get through the glossary portions, which again was kind of the plan. I want to get more through them and all, but of course, I want to get as far through it as I can for the process, and build that process right. But I also want to do this right. And this is the stuff that got compressed at the beginning of there was like the first of the 2 week grind, like the 2 week super push, got compressed for the 30, like into a super like just all the way through, plus designing the sort of processes and designing the other people's processes too. So it was intense. I should probably give myself like a day or two off, but no. No, I actually. So the thing is that as intense as that was, and as hard knock as it was, and as painful as it was, the truth is I enjoy this stuff. Like I do deeply enjoy like manipulating the information and like kind of going through and doing the editor stuff. I do deeply enjoy it. Maybe I don't know if I don't know if I'll call myself good at it or anything of that sort. I won't go that far, but I will say I enjoy doing so. I have fun with it. So, all right, the undead army made its way slowly towards the capital. The Free City. Let's see. The Free City having been destroyed. Having been destroyed, the Dread Emperor marched his army towards the capital. Of the, let's see. Oops. No, I hit the wrong one. Of the, let's see. The Dread Emperor marched his armies towards the capital of the Followay. A country as weak as a pitiful king. Those insipid fools would soon no longer stand in his way. And with them crushed beneath his undead horde, none would stand in his way. None would stand in his way. There. Can't say I didn't directly contribute something to the writing of this stuff. None would stand in his way. As he glanced below from his flying as he glanced below atop his flying zombie dragon, or from atop his dragon, as he glanced, let's see, that's a hard one to make that work. As he glanced groundward. I'm making up words now. I don't care. Groundward. As he glanced groundward from atop his flying zombie dragon, from the air atop his dragon, from the air atop his zombie dragon, atop his zombie dragon, atop his dragon who happened to be a zombie. No, yeah, sorry. I shouldn't crack myself up on stuff like that, but there's layers upon layers why that one made me laugh. All right. As he glanced groundward from atop as he glanced groundward from the air atop his, I don't like the way that flows. Let's see. As he glanced, I'm gonna break that up a little bit. As he glanced groundward from the air, now as he glanced groundward in the air. Oh, there we go. In the air atop his zombie dragon, he glanced groundward. There we go. In the air atop his zombie glass, he glanced groundward. A smirk crossing his decrepit face. The swarming zombies and skeletons made their way slowly towards his final goal. His smile. Better described as a grimace. Shed. That's the. On flesh. His jowls. I don't know how to spell the word jowls. I guess I ever tried. His smile, better described as a grimace, shed rotten flesh from his jowls. Soon, his victory shall be complete. Read that out. The undead army made its way slowly towards the capital. The free city having been destroyed, the dread emperor marched his armies towards the capital of Phalo. The country as weak as their pitiful king. Those insipid fools soon no longer stand in his way, and with them crushed beneath his undead horde, none would stand. See, I knew I needed to read it out. I don't understand. Would soon... And with them crushed between its undead horde, none would resist. There we go. Those insipid fools would no longer stand in his way. And with him crushed beneath his undead horde, none would resist. In the air atop his zombie dragon, he glanced groundward with a smirk crossing his decrepit. I got it right. With a smirk crossing his decrepit face. The swarming zombies and skeletons made their way slowly towards his final goal. His smile, better described as a grimace, shed rotten flesh from his jowls. Soon, his victory shall be complete. Yes, I do enjoy reading. Let's see. So, all right, cool. All right, so now I got the picture of what we're trying to build here, or what we're talking about here. What we're not trying to build here, because we got to build. I need to figure out a better way to fix these things here. All right, so instead of monoclass. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, cool. All right. So how do we change this name? What do we change this name to? All right. I think I got an idea. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see the AI a little bit. Let's integrate off of number 11 let's see, a reference to Tokyo. Let's see, an indirect reference. To Tokyo. Cool. Now, see, I might say, well, why don't you just do the synthesis yourself? Because I already have, but I want to see what it comes up with. Please provide n of them. Because it's like, oh well, Ghoul's Heir, command the undead with dark majesty. That's not even SEO that's not a good title. It's not a good reference. It's like, it's too on the note. Ooh, I like that one. Integrate a coffee reference. Now I'm thinking about it. Integrate over you use 10 titles for the Dread Necromancer build in 3.5. Dark Brewmaster. Concoct undead legions with caffeinated command. Let me try and read that again where I'm not choking on my laughter. Dread Necromancer, Dark Brewmaster. Concoct undead legions with caffeinated command. Dread Necromancer. Espresso Enchanter. Awaken the dead with a bold brew. Dread Necromancer. Caffeine Conjurer. Percolate Power. Command Gould. Oh, jeez. Blah, blah, blah. Mocha Monarch. Rule the night with a rich roast. I love it. I love it. Latte Lich Lord. Blend necromancy with a touch of espresso. I don't think this matches the theme of the Dread Necromancer. Brew of bones. Summon skeletons with a coffee twist. It was lazy. Coffee Crypt Keeper. Okay, I'm good. I can't say that joke in public. I'll put it that way. I cannot say that joke in public. But there's a joke that caused me to die there for a second. Stir the dead with a dark aromas. Oh jeez. All right. Decaf, no. Moving on. Roasted Ruler. Command the undead with fiery flavors. Black Coffee Commander. Dark, rich, and unyieldingly powerful. The decaf one. Just decaf is the answer is no. The answer is no. Let's see. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna spoil. No, I'm not gonna spoil the joke. He gotta see it himself organically, and he'll see it. He will see it. All right, so. Let's torture the a little bit more there further. Let's make the pun way more subtle. I should have wrote down what I was originally thinking of because it was just better than when these were. Okay, AI. Dark roast, command the undead with a rich presence is not blending the coffee reference. It's not making the coffee reference unsafe. I see what you did there. Alright. It says, these titles keep the coffee reference understated, blending it seamlessly with the themes of power and darkness, characteristics of the Dread Necromancer role. It's blending, right? Because coffee blend, right? Coffee blending? Like, wait, coffee blending. You get what I'm saying. Okay. More seriously, let's see. Where was I before? So I was looking at the reference here because again, we're trying to figure out a name for the monoclass build, which is a zombie horde style, like classical necromancer style Dread Necromancer monoclass, which means you get massive hordes of undead, right? Which is great. It's cool. It's awesome. I mean, who doesn't like hordes of undead, right? But all right, let me go back up here a little bit back to the closer to the top there. Let's see where I put the requirement to not say it and to make sure to keep that format. All right, where I went off the deep end, we'll go in Gold Commander. Although I do like that one. Not a good title, but Dread Necromancer, Bone Collector, Gather the Dead, Forge an Army. Straight to the point. I respect that. Respect that. Harness darkness, command death. Obviously, none of that's what we're looking for. I know it's. I complained about it being ridiculous, but I'm gonna go with Cool Roast. No wait. Better yet. Better yet. Running with the thing that it touched on. Cool Blend. Titles for that. Yes, Cool Blend. There we go. See, this is, by the way, just as a quick aside, why me looking at like the nominal notion of using AI for like AI assistance for like the stuff, like as a muse, if you will. And I'll get to why I use the term muse in a moment. But as a muse is because you can readily, it's like I could have sat here and kind of pondered and done more, pull up more research, but I'm looking to try and see if I could find like a little dot somewhere that's there and like try and fill in the blanks. And I got blanks that I know and so it starts out with this like blank picture, and it's like, okay, well, I need to find the thing that I'm looking for. And so it becomes an iterative process back and forth, a quick iterative process back and forth between myself and the AI instance, right? The agent there. And so it's this back and forth that's for creative development, where ultimately it's my creation that's driving it, right? I'm driving the machine. I'm just going, okay, so fill in that blank. So what's this thing that I'm trying to think of? Like, there's a hole here that I'm looking for. And again, I'm saying this is beyond corny, which is the point, because my buddy there will get a kick out of it, because it's a little bit too on the nose. But it's like, because we keep on talking about Kaneki, and about Tokyo Ghoul, so it keeps on coming up. Whenever we talk about ghouls, it's running meme with the Secret World Legends game and all that. Because we deal with you run the ghouls with it. Why are you killing Kaneki? Because he's sitting there with a stop sign trying to beat my face in. And so it's just kind of been the running. What do you have against him? It's just one of the running sort of gag there. So this coming up at this point in time, the crew, the two others that I'm currently playing with Secret World Legends late at night on Fridays with, those guys, are my core group, and they yeah, they'll get it, and they're part of the process, distinctly part of the process. One of them goes to creates the initial stuff there that's our sources, and the other one's Div, and Div is the very awesome like first line readability, right? Like readability checker. Like he's the one who goes through and after I've done this stuff, he goes through and basically checks my work, and checks and makes sure that everything's like looking pretty as kosher as it can be with what's there. And we've been kind of working on details there. So but yeah, so it's the sort of thing where so they're all of them are going to encounter this in short order as soon as I like shortly after I get it put out there, they're gonna see it. Because yeah, it's great. All right, so hopefully by then I've forgotten about it, so I don't actually like reveal the joke, because they're not watching, I don't think. All right, now let's see. Oh, see, that's why I don't like that. Cool blend. All right. Right now we got to go up to here, and we need to edit this guy, and make. Oh no! Biscuit. So I need to go back to here because I changed that. Build is no longer monoclass; it is now Ghoul Blend. Enter. This is no longer that; it is being determined, and I'll have it here shortly. That's way too many words. Master of the Dark Brew. Dark Art to Potent Concoction, Brewing Dead. Ultramentor. Let's see. judge me if you not, or if you must, but I'm going with this. All right, so, and then, although we might not be able to throw in that additional part for the actual thing because it might be too long as it is, because Dread Necromancer takes up a lot of our character space for titles. So we might not have the fun of all of like this, but Dread Necromancer, Ghoul Blend, Dark Brew. Ghoul blend build that's what it should say, because it's a it's a build, so it should be Ghoul Blend build. A little bit of a tongue twister, but that's a you problem. You being me, of course. And then this, I thought this was automatically produced. This was a synthesis. I guess I was wrong. All right, I guess I need to produce it. Fine. Oh, I broke it. Ghoul Blend. I would have sworn this was automatically produced. I guess maybe it was, and then I changed it. I don't know. Oh, any case, so there's D&D 3.5. Should have been generated. That's disturbing. Let's check something. What the heck? Why does it say approval pending still? Oh, okay. Well, whatever. In that case, posted. Oh, not all of them are posted. Some of them are still, what's the word I'm looking for here? Scheduled. Excuse me. I need to go get some water or something. Scheduled. No, that's not scheduled. That's posted. That, on the other hand, oh, that is scheduled. And then let's go with Dragonfire Adept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, there you go. Yeah, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now, what I was here to check was I thought that these were dynamically generated, and they're not. Weird. Okay. I mean, that is very much so unlike me. That is very, very much so unlike me. I must have been like just kind of just going, because the cut of my jib and like the formula that I've got here, I know I did it the right way at one point. The formula that I've got here, it's D&D 3.5, so it's the game. I lose, by the way. The class, Dread Necromancer. The oh, that must be why. That would be why, because it's oh no. Oh, I know what I did though. Okay, I know what I did. I know why I didn't do it here is because it was going to be a mighty, 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 mighty pain to have to develop a formula, a CanCat formula that would pull those pieces and then proceed to run them through a filter of some sort, because I don't know how to do that in Google, in Google, and I didn't feel like trying, and I honestly don't feel like trying right now because I know that they can get complex. I don't want to deal with that right now, so I'm still not going to, because it's easier. Basically, it was easier for me to go to a Kate text document editor, just copy and paste the information over there, and then just Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, and Control R with Kate, Control H and other ones, find replace, and just find replace over and over and over again. That was just easier to do it that way, way easier to do it that way than trying to mess with that. So maybe I'll do it a later time. This time around, I'm not going to do it because I don't really want to. All right, so that said, we've got our Ghoul Blend build, Dark Brew with its source 1. Which says monoclass. I should probably fix that in line. Ghoul Blend? Wait a second. When did we get to Stargate? Ghoul Blend. So now we've got that. Cool. And make sure, crud. Make sure that this matches what I need to match. So open up a document, which you all cannot see. mean, you could see it. I wouldn't mind you seeing it, but same regards. I don't feel like sharing the screen itself, so that would be. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Let's add another source. Add another X composite window source. Don't make it visible yet, and it's gonna be Kate. And Kate. No. Untitled, I guess. Beth. And pull it down. Let me check something quickly over here. Can you read what is on the screen? If you cannot, well, I suck. Let's see what happens if I do this. Do it. Will this do it? I mean, it's mostly readable. Well, if y'all can't read it, tell me and I'll. But all right, so basically with this is that we're looking at the article at a glance, look at how it turned out. And I already said something immediately wrong. Oh, that was loud. Cancel that. Cancel. I did not mean to close it. All right. So. I did tell you I was going to have to use multiple screens, right? All right. So. What is wrong with this thing? Topic? Oh. Uh-oh. Okay. So this is actually going to be Google Lens. And it's false now because I changed it, right? Oh, now I remember. Google Blend. So what that is that's basically telling me this is from the source spreadsheet, one of the source spreadsheets, because I built out like the slugs from a mass spreadsheet, and like all like this part of the data after status, I built it out of a spreadsheet from a different grepping source. Again, all of our internal resources, but and I'd forgotten because basically I put I said, hey, are these two equal to each other? Because they were from, one was from here where it was generated, or it was setting it up from here, or was pulled from here or whatever, and then the other one was being generated somewhere else, like that sort of thing. That's what that was. So. Just debating on something here. Okay, so now what we're looking at is I already generated that one, and it was already good. So all right. Now we generate the 5 of them. So go back to our article generation concept one. Article generation. So we're actually back several steps from where we were originally because I got distracted by a needs must. And then let's see. So What did I just do? So fix the titles. Use zap checkbox. Generate card. Generate Trello card. Use sheet. So complete share other than source. Let's see, title review, change generic permission. Complete share sheet other than source. And then so see sheet. Get something up here. I do so love my trance. I think that's the term. It's EDM generic, right? But I do absolutely adore it because, you know, I just enjoy this stuff. Always have, right? Well, always have. It's one of those. There's that one song, and again, I don't think it's probably going to show up on this one because it's probably very much so like tied down. But it's the like trance saved my life. Like, yeah, I did. Honestly, it got me through a real bad breakup at one point. Like having. I like the best trance of the 90s or something like that, because this was like 2005, 2006 sort of thing. No, 2000. We'll call it late 2006, 2007. And I went to the PX at Great Lakes. For those not in the know, the PX is basically a store. You know, it's like a mass store on base. And so basically went to the PX and just kind of bumming around because I was feeling just like death because I just had a 5-year relationship just disintegrated. You know, basically what my planned entire life was. A good portion of the reason why I joined the Marines, for crying out loud, because I wasn't the person who I thought I needed to be to, you know, do the things I wanted to do there. And so like, well, I need to be a better person. And then she arranges a meeting to join up with a recruiter, and all ends up leaving me for another Marine because the assumption that I was going to be a violent psychopath. Look, I just wear my sunglasses at night. What do you want from me? So anyway, so all that tongue-in-cheek aside, so that basically trance like literally helped keep me like not completely losing my mind effectively for that period of time. It caused me to lose my mind in a different direction, but to not die is kind of an important thing too. I mean, it could have gone down an even more disastrous route than just the, in a manner of speaking, psychoactive music, because honestly, trance kind of is just by its very nature. So. Anyway, I like trance. This is what it comes down to. And EDM and all that. I haven't been in a club in forever though, but I'm too old for that now, I guess. Probably go like drink myself out at the local bar. Problem with that is, well, as I said before, I got no money, so I can't really do that now, can I? We all make our choices. I took a risk, and I haven't quite won yet. No point in crying over spilled milk. All right, so now, the sheet title. Review. Change mono/class to specific. Or mono/core to specific. And then I'm going to delete this one because all those other details aren't needed. It's kind of obvious. So complete start sheet. And then add source from glossary. It's from glossary. All right, and then sheet outline from templates, outline/prompts templates. Classes build theme from template. It's kind of like, yeah, but in a way it's true, so it's true enough, and it's true enough for like for me And so for somebody who I'd be instructing on it, it's probably true enough. I hope it's true enough because this does require some heuristic analysis, we'll say, as in being able to figure out stuff on the fly, which is a skill that's surprisingly lacking, like by and large. Heuristic analysis. It's funny to me because I'm sitting here trying like leveraging AI stuff, right, to help give more details, right, but I'm still doing like the taking the information and gathering it together and like making it into a ball and then making something from it, right? Because I understand that that's heuristic analysis. Taking the stuff kind of that's fuzzy and putting it together and putting it in and then doing something with it, right? And it's funny to me how that lack or how many people seem to actually lack that ability, and not the ability. Like everyone's capable of it. Seriously, everyone's capable of it. It's part of the human condition. You literally are designed to do this. For survival's sake, if nothing else. And so, not being able to arrest that process and put it to where the mind, where your goal is. I know a lot of folks, like, as I've been trying to like run and build this thing, I know a lot of folks who don't, and who don't think they can, and some of them honestly take the stance of like they don't think they should, which disturbs me because like, well, you can do this stuff, like you're definitely capable of doing it. Why aren't you doing it? And they're like, well, it's not the cut of my jib. It's not it's just not how I am or whatever. It's like, well, pardon me, this skill issue. It's a lame excuse too, by the way. Yeah, you may not like the sort of XYZ thing, and that's fair. I mean, you have different skills. Everyone have different ability on them. But for heuristic analysis, right, that's endemic to being human. So why not be at least competent at it or aim to be? Of course, this goes to a wider diatribe about how modern education, blah 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 blah, and I don't care about which variant we're talking about. It's not an individual continent that does this wrong, or right, I should say. Everyone does it wrong pretty badly, all said, in various ways, and none of the lessons that could be learned from this, in my opinion, are necessarily either learned or maybe applied. And especially as we get to the AI age, as it were, those abilities to take that's what differentiates differentiates man from machine at this stage, and will for some time, is the ability to apply heuristic analysis of this sort, of taking the aggregate and putting it together and actually coming out with something that's something. So anyway, enough diatribe for now. Back to building the process that I should have built while I was doing the 30 freaking initial article stuff, but I didn't because it was just objective, how that happens when you're in the crunch time. So, let me see. Sheet title review, sheet source from glossary, sheet outline prompts from template, sheet classes, build games from template. Okay. Use sheet checkbox. Where are we there yet? Is the question. So, no, we're not. All right. Topic from template. Generate slug from title. Or sorry, use Zap to generate the title. This is a Trello card. All right, now I'm gonna go up here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I just went insane. All right, move all cards in this list. And now we move the cards down to not the list. Well, can I not do it that way? Ah, biscuit. Yeah, it's fine. All right, so move to Where are we going? You know what? I'm going to be lazy. And I am going to put a rule. You know what? For the funsies of it, I can actually do it on the main screen here. So I'm going to make a rule. All right. And you're going to get your mind blown by how many rules I have. All right. So maybe not really. Like if you're really a crazy Trello person who's been using it forever, you probably have way more rules than I do. But anyway, so create automation. All right. I'm going to expose a little bit of details about my board setup here too, which is fine. I'm not like super concerned about exposing that. I just, there's certain things it's like, I don't know, it's messy. I don't want to, you know, anyway. So when a card is added to the board, no, when a card is added to list, all right, okay. Looks like I can't actually do it on this board, or I can't do it that way. Cool. All right. Well, let me go continue with what I was working. Right, so if I go rules, I go add, create automation, add trigger. Card is added to when a what type? What? Oh. Oh. I wonder. And I should one of these days like figure out how to do tracks in my own. But I don't have the bandwidth to do such things. Not now. Actually, it's funny. It's a lesson from one of my English teacher, my creative writing teacher, actually from back when. What the lesson basically was like, choose a topic to not really master, just to keep it mysterious. So. Alright, so let's see. What do I want to do? So they get generated in automation holding. Oh, jeez. Can we not swear on the stream? Thanks. I mean, I don't really care if people swear on my stream, but I try to avoid that, and having music that imposes it's not okay. If it does it again, I'll skip it. It's just one of those things. I just don't care for my music to have wordsmith. It's not even like anything specific. It's just like, I just don't, you know. Alright, let's see. Article generation pathway. Alright, so now I created an article generation pathway. So when a card is added to article generation pathway, what? Just created it. Do I have to capitalize it? Is it like that? No? And a card is added to. Oh, it didn't update it because I already. Okay. Because I created it on a different shred. Create a new automation. Alright. Alright, I said I was going to skip it, but did it again. I did it again. I like that one too, honestly. I liked it, but. Like, I get it. They're trying to be expressive and explicit. But. I don't need that, you know? I don't need that. Again, I got no problem with it. And if I weren't listening for it, I probably wouldn't even. No, I would have, like, because it's specifically there to be listened for, you know. So it would have been more grading rather than just like no, if it were just me listening to it. But in this case, grading becomes no, because I need my focus. It's breaking my focus, and I don't like that. So. What? Where's my new shiny folder I just made? I guess I need to refresh the page then. That's annoying. All right. In a few minutes here, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a break, but I ain't gonna be done for a while yet because I don't know. I'm kind of feeling the groove. I'm not like, I mean, again, I am absolutely wiped from the previous push for sure. But oh, there we go. Article generation pathway. But just kind of being chill and just doing the thing. All right, so now I go move the card to the top of the list, to the bottom of the list. I didn't even at the top. Of let's see, the board that we're on is readability station. No, not readability station. Is article generation, and then it's going to be to the start. You start at the start. Now I've got a thing that says article generation pathway. Move when a card is added to the list. Move the card to the pathway card. Move the card to the bottom of the list. Start article generation. Now, actually, I'm going to change something pretty radically here. Which, you know what? For what I'm going to do, I should be fine to have it, let you guys see it. Well, it's part of it. Because right now I have it where all these boards get like a tracker card when you enter, or when the card moved from the list. But it should really, basically speaking, be when a card enters the list, it should do it. Because right now it's setting the tracker, like the tracker event, when it's pulling it out, which is great. But what happens when cards get moved in from other places? And I'm trying. No. I got an idea though to make this work, because the pathways always bring them to start, or to start now, by design. So therefore I should have it where it enters, put a tracker on the given other card, because right now, and I gotta go check that before I well, you know what, I need to be moving on here on this. It's one of those things where I'm starting to feel myself get a little tired, like starting to get tired. So I should not derp around on the things. You can see how it's all cards move over. Oh yeah, because they haven't had the cards before yet. But now the cards have their custom fields. As you can see, I have custom fields. All those custom fields. So, and a link to what will be the thing, and then also the thing. So this is why, by the way, this was my error there, where I kind of jumped the gun, where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna start pulling the stuff up and all that, because I don't need to, because I have it where it automatically generates it at this stage. This is why I have it automatically generate, right? So now we're in the glossary review stage. And so the glossary review stage is where we take a moment to check and make sure everything's good to go. Make sure it reads right, it reads neat, that sort of thing. And so we update, and then we end up in a space where it's like, okay, there should be a preview button here. Yeah, preview changes. All right, so preview changes, right? It opens up a new tab. And we can see our context here. Okay, cool. This is fine. This is great. This is all oh. All right, so in order to fix that, there's a few ways we can fix it. And the only way that I know is really kind of straightforward to do so is to take it. Oh, actually, is to hit backspace once, because it'll highlight it. I don't know, just how this editor works. And then now I've got it in my clipboard, and I'm gonna open up Office, or not Office, but well, it's Office, but it's LibreOffice Writer, oddly enough. over and above anything else. And let me get a quick source built for it. And then we're gonna go, let's see, and don't make it immediately visible because I need to make sure I give you guys the right one, which is Untitled One LibreOffice Writer. Don't need to have any weirdness about that because it's a writer, right? And then I'm gonna drag him all the way down. My list for stuff is getting huge. I don't know what that means. I just lost it. I lost my stack. Oh, there we go. Get the V upper. I should get around to like actually get back to screwing around with that. But like, the thing is that one of the cool things about like VTuber type stuff, like that technology, is that if you do it right, like you should be able to like what do I try to say there? With like the VTuber type stuff, you'd be able to like really readily and really hilariously, honestly, like put on different masks for characters if you're doing TTRPGs online. And like, so you could have where you've got like a given character and you're like, the character does this, and you like, you literally, if you're the GM, you literally like have the face on of like the orc, and you've got a voice modulator that like literally translates it into what the orc, and you built it, right? But what the orc would sound like, right? And so now you've got this full, and it's already mostly doable, and that's the fun part about it. It's mostly doable. It just requires the pre-setup for it, right? So it's one of those sort of things where you could take like your character, just like this avatar thing, whatever, I forget the name of it right now, but you get your character, and you can you could make your character appearance, right? And then you click the button and boop, there you go. Now you're the presentation of your character, right? And if you have a certain affectation that's there, yeah, I know, it reduces the amount of, shall we say, thespian activity that's involved for sure. But it still would be really freaking rad, because then it's not the person trying to like pretend that they're the person. They're actually appearing as the other person. And of course, you see your own face effectively in your pre-stuff and all that stuff. So you end up in a space where you're like, I am that person in my own presentation of myself, for the visual side of things at least. So and everything that goes with it. So I'm just saying that application isn't hard, isn't like that hard, I'll say, and it's definitely doable. And there's definitely the ability to do it at the stage, to have live action modulation of voices overplay the voices, and having these decent VTuber type avatars, just kind of that you can build to make it look like your character. And they exist, and that's the thing, they exist, and it's just a matter of like getting the right meshing to them to make it work and all that, as well as having a little bit of technical know-how on your team, which again, I got a fair amount myself. So the point that I'm trying to say here is one of the things that we're actually working on, or we will be working on, is making it so that we have that sort of options, at least for the players in games that we do. If not the actual GMs. The GM one is harder because you have to kind of like figure out a good way to do it on the fly. And I don't think, honestly, I don't know. I don't think anyone's done that yet. I could be wrong, but because I don't use those tools generally by and large. But it's one of those things where I haven't used like RPG, Roll20 in forever, and I haven't used like Forge or anything like that. So it's one of those things where I'm familiar with them. I have access to them, but I just haven't really played with them either, because we'll generally, like the groups that I'm with right now, the primary one that I'm with right now is playing World of Darkness games. So the other ones we've used Roll20, but it's just us, us sitting doing the thing. So it's like not messing around with it. So it's not. I mean, it's one of those things where it could be kind of cool. Anyway, I'm trying to do something, and I forgot what I was trying to do. Oh yeah, I was trying to fix the friggin' tables. So basically, with how the tables got generated originally, the source, they had serious issues that I already fixed up most of them, but there's an issue that cropped up moving to this format where they'll squish or the margins will be wrong. And I don't know, honestly, a better way to do it than fiddly back and forth doing what I'm doing right now. So, did that load? That loaded. So that means that much space and level wasn't enough. Which doesn't make sense to me, because me go back there because that doesn't make sense to me. I opened up the level of the thing pretty far. I mean, so one thing I do know is that you can do this with it, right? But that doesn't change the ratios, right? And that's the problem. It doesn't change the ratios to do that. Like if I hit preview now, and I will for the sake of argument, just like scrolling it out, watch how grotesque it becomes. Oh, it's literally off the map. So definitely not what we're looking for. But what I am thinking might work is if I can figure out what the margins are. Like, how many characters do I have to play with, sort of thing. But, see, now it says level, so it's class. Dread Necromancer is cut off, though, because it's such a big freaking word, so. But I got my hit dice right, so I can borrow some space from hit die. And yeah, this part is particularly fiddly. And again, this is the part why I make my big bucks, which I don't make. I don't even make any money at this point. So, all right. Anyway, enough mumbling about that. So, yeah, this part's the back and forth, just kind of fiddly. Like, yeah, let's do this, which is why it's one of those like. Originally, I didn't bother streaming, going through and building out this part of the process because I didn't really see a point. And the other hand, like I said before, is that just talking it through is better than just screaming at the void in my own head. Oh shoot. Yeah, okay. I made a mistake here. Just want to see something. It does not work. Office Writer. A little bit. Because basically I wanted to just kind of give like a better view of what I'm up to, between the two, because it's two sort of things. There's one thing I do need to do on that too, I think. For the Office Writer, I think I use include expert for that. Do you think? A little bit clearer for y'all. Let's see. It will not do a darn thing. Oh well. Because I don't like how it's like got like a white background in a white. Actually, wait, why is? Shouldn't that be not that way? Wait. Okay, well, in any case, so right now what we've got going on there is that you've got the gist of what's going on with that. So now I can hide that up here, and we can go back here because we already got the from the preview change. Should be good now. The modification. So leveled, that's fixed. That's fixed. It's question mark? Yeah, it's fixed. And then that's fine, whatever, and that's fine. Symbiotes. Oh no, oh, it's her. Oh, it's her. This build is diabolical because as soon as you start touching symbiotes, no, no. Anyway, all right. So next up is we grab from our folder. Grab from our folder, downloads. Oh, data? No, data, yes. Go files, find the folder, then we find the folder. And, oh, Ready Player Me, by the way, was the thing I was talking about with regards to some of the like stuff. The meshes are, last I looked at it a few months ago, unfortunately, they're pretty static. You know, they don't move their mouth when you talk, that sort of thing. They move their face, and you can do stuff, but they don't move like they don't move the mouth. And it's one of those things where I don't mind showing my face on a stream. I don't care. I just don't care. I should. Oh, it's scary. I don't care. But the idea of throwing down the VTuber avatar just kind of seemed neat to me. So I was like, I'm gonna do this, and so I ended up actually setting up. I could actually. I think I still. Well, no. I unfortunately reinstalled Linux, so because I was trying a new compositor and it didn't work out for me. So I don't have the full setup of it. But, I haven't tested it, in other words. So I could probably get it working here, but I don't really bother. Anyway, so where was I? I was looking for a new folder. Apparently, create new folder. And that new folder is going to be the 3-5 Red Necromancer builds folder. All right, and there is nothing in there because there's nothing in there. Now, oh, did I? Oh. Okay then. Now I have to go to and again, I don't have the process yet to not use DALL-E, unfortunately. I'm still working on that process. I have processes to use DALL-E. I just need to get around to, stop using DALL-E. It's like a bad drug. Right. All right. Oop. Paste that guy there. And then take you. And paste you there. See if it does the thing I want without super prompts. It did. I'm surprised it didn't refuse because like the prompt that I just gave it is scary. Because one of my biggest problems with DALL-E, and I know it's going to sound real bad for me to admit this out loud, but is that it's got all these like sensors and filters. Not bad. It's got all these sensors and filters involved that it's just concerning, It's like do some iterations of this guy. I cannot type right now. And I said before, well, I'm using Dolly. I won't show that because I don't like honestly, I don't like it. I'm embarrassed that I'm using it. It's more or less what it comes down to. But for the Stable Diffusion thing, once I've got my processor working around that, I will totally go for that. Okay, that is properly creepy. That is properly creepy. All right, so that gets put over in the Discord channel. It's proper for it. We got in-house tracking, right? So we got our own like little Discord thing there, and go through and yeah. Now I'm gonna say this, at the risk of overtaxing it, right? But Discord is where we're kind of going for with our community at the moment, all that stuff. It's ran through like the site, but the Discord is where like the things to be happening, kind of like games. We got games that have been running and stuff like that off of it and such like that. So this is the living portion, as it were. Like the link is all over the place. So that's kind of what the primary routes, for reaching out, contacting, having discussions, suggesting builds, discussing about builds, games, and upcoming modules, and other games. Can't talk too much about those yet because they're not fully, should we say, fleshed out. But we got some stuff on the horizon. Now, where did I put that thread at? I also like having 10 billion threads in my personal areas, or well, the group's personal areas. A little cleaner on the public side, but the personal side, there's like 10 million threads. It's fun. I don't remember which thread this is. It's not the 3D printing one. It's not the glossary one, or is it? Oh, no? Maybe it is. No, it's not. Didn't put them up there, did I? Did I put them in a glossary? So these are all. See, that's the problem with grinding something so hard like that, is that not writing down the process, is you just forget where you were putting the stuff at. Especially because like this portion that we're talking about, was like 2 weeks ago. Oh, maybe it was a glossary. They said 2 weeks ago. Well, that was in January. We guess. Did I come in over here? I was wrong. I was. Okay. little bit too much dubstep for me over there. Stop breaking my focus, thanks. Oh, I am. I need to do a picture. But now, take a look at this. I'm gonna take a very strong crop here, because here's the thing, and I'm actually gonna preserve the aspect ratio. Because here's the thing: is that honestly, like for these images and just in general, I'm not so concerned about illustrating the story as so far as I'm concerned about illustrating the character. And the character here that we're talking about is the creepy lady in the chair, the thing in the chair, as it were. I had a chair like that at one point. All right, so now I'm gonna crop that, save that. All right, and then the new chicks over here. Oh. Now that I got her, where did I put the folder at though is the question. There you are. All right, now I got her and she is saved in the proper folder. Where I need to put her at is the question, or what I need to do with her. So now, the fun part about this. So we got our Dread Necromancer build, and we got her, and I'm gonna start doing a new technique that I haven't used before. So if I'm correct, and I'll pull her up here. Ooh, actually, I like having her up here. That's neat. All right. So anyway, so I got her up there. Okay. Then what I'm gonna do, and I don't know how well this is gonna work. Well, it's already at 1.5 megs, which is a positive sign because it's a it's a no value game. But the stable diffusion, I can go to extras. I can go to 4x ultra sharp, kill her again. Right, and I can go to should be able to just drag and drop from the file window, Dread Necromancer, and then I guess it's like upscale. Let's see. Well, I don't know how to use this technology. I just know that it works, and it makes it better looking. With the auto scale, Now, this has been made that way. I wonder if I just do this, save as, and then if I overwrite it, if that'll work the way I think it'll work. I don't think it will. I don't have a reason to think it will, but I am going to try it. Images, Dread Necromancer build. All right, PNG save. Ow, overwrite. All right, where'd Kate go? Or not Kate? Where'd she go? So that was not the right button. That was. And I meant to hit F5. Yeah, so that actually worked for my plans. Because now this thing is 1744 by 2208, which means it's got way more details on it than I did before, while maintaining the original theme of the picture. So that is awesome. All right, so now we go to glossary item. Okay, Bad Touch Lady. And now I should be able to just go boop. I should have done this a little bit different though, but that's okay. In the future I will remember that. So bad A load. One problem is that they are notably bigger files than they were. It's good. It's good that it's a 4.5 or 4 almost 5 meg file, because the thing is that that's a yeah, it's a big file. Sure, I get but it's a far more detailed file too. Oh, error. Shoot. So apparently it was too big for the server. Okay. Well, that being the case, so that means let's regenerate that twice. Yeah, she does. Reload her again. So now the file size should be a little bit more reasonable. Wait, what? And now it's down to 1.2, and it's she's just shy of she's 8 72 by 1104. So, which means because I lowered it down to 2 times rather than being 4 times. Feels bad, but it's okay. It's the sort of thing where it's like it's reasonable. All right, so now we go back to the web page again, like I was doing, and I should still be able to just drag and drop here, right? Yes. Way faster it worked. All right. I feel like I should like convert it to like JPEG or something before sort of thing, but that's all right. So now, she is the bad lady. Insert in the post. And there you go. And so now, we have a picture for the bad touch lady. So let's see. Glossary view, glossary add image, glossary add synonyms, fixed tables. Let's see, add image. Use flavor. Text. All right, iterate and crop. So, and again, I'm going to point this out that, yeah, I know I said earlier about the entire taking them like straight off and kind of pretty face value and all that. So right now I'm still in that process of really defining better processes, you know? And I've got a lot of stuff with like where I want to use Stable Diffusion for more and more. Or I want to phase out of using DALL-E because DALL-E encourages laziness, right? To a little bit more of a nuanced system that has a lot more capabilities. And Stable Diffusion, and specifically automatic 1111, I believe it's 4 ones afterwards, is just mind-blowingly complex. And I mean, I say that in a good way, you know, like this sort of thing. It's just like, okay, well, I just upscaled that image by 2 in what, 10 seconds? So good stuff, good stuff. All right, now that is a glossary file that is complete. So what I'm actually tempted to do, now that I've done that and kind of looked into this, is that's like pre-workup stuff, right? So like article generation hasn't even started. So we have all of this kind of pulled in. We fixed the tables. We did all that. We're now ready to call that, you know, call that particular one good. Except I didn't put the synonyms in yet. I can't say it's good because I didn't follow my own instructions. Bad touch lady. Or did I put away? Anyway, the thing is, it's just basically making sure that they match what we're gonna see. Because, you know, like I've seen ones where so far that have like apostrophes in it, and that really messes with the system. So better that we don't mess with the system, right? So, and for the glossaries, I just like one picture. It seems adequate to the purpose to me. For the posts, I'll put 2 to 3, depending upon factors. Oh, I need to go to bed. We have been streaming presently, and I just kind of ad hoc, so I wasn't counting. For a while, I don't know. Where's the button I'm looking for? Push this button. Break everything. Told you it was gonna break everything. Alright, so we have been streaming for a paltry 3 hours, right? Let's take a look at some stuff. Alright. No. Before I close the stream, there's one more major thing I need to do, and that's off screen, but while the stream's running. I forgot to do stuff, which probably cost me some thingies. But that's okay. I don't really care. I care about producing the cool stuff, producing the content, you know, figuring the stuff out. That's what I care about. But no, YouTube, this was not made for kids. Can we assume that I'm not making stuff for kids? Maybe I should start for kids. What is this to try out? Anyway, all right. Well, for those that have been here, for those that have been around, and for those that watch in the future, appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by and watching me derp around and trying to make content for content's sake. Here, cheers. Also, I did not make it say thank you on purpose. That was not me. It just was a proper thing. That just apparently decided to do the right thing. Well, anyway,